Vsb Tv 11 News for Thursday, February 6th. I'm Peter Cattell. Our top story. Reason prevailed today in the work dispute between the Fairmont-Hamilton Princess and the Bermuda Industrial Union. Late-night meetings by both sides with government labor officials finally brokered a resolution which will see the fired staff return to work on May the 1st, but not before the community faced a second day of cancelled buses and ferries. Vsb News' Brian Darby has the details.
When BIU President Chris Ferbert and Home Affairs Minister Senator Michael Fahey called media conferences with half an hour of each other this morning, it was clear that something was up, and it turned out to be the news everyone was waiting for. Resolution had been reached between the two sides and striking workers will be going back to work immediately. But the 2 days of industrial rest and the circumstances of the disagreement between the two sides raised the temperature in the workplace and gave hint of difficult times ahead. The presence of the top officials of the Bermuda Trade Union Congress at Mr. Ferbert's conference gave ample indication of growing impatience on the street. But Mr. Fahey kept things on the straight and level when he announced the settlement.
I'm pleased to note that the two sides, with the assistance of government, have managed to come to a resolution which benefits all concerned. The resolution was agreed to and accepted by the BIU and the Fairmont-Hamilton Princess management, and I'm happy to note that it is anticipated that all employees, including our public service workers, will return to work later this morning. While I will leave the specifics of the agreement for the BIU and the Fairmont to expand upon, I would like to touch on the efforts of our government representatives who worked hard to bring this situation to a close. I'd like to thank the Attorney General Mark Pettingill and his staff, and the Permanent Secretary of Home Affairs Mr. Randy Rochester, and the Director of Workforce Development George Outerbridge for their work around the clock to get the two sides to the table. And I wish also to thank the Green family for recognizing the importance of working with us to bring this matter to a close for the good of Bermuda. Without question, this government recognizes the inconvenience that this situation caused the members of the public and to our visitors. So we appreciate their patience and understanding during which was obviously a challenging time which saw them directly affected by the disruption of services. If anything, these past few days have demonstrated the importance of maintaining strong relationships between employers and unions, the importance of following the guidelines as set out in the collective bargaining agreements, and the importance of going through the right channels of mediation to find resolution. As I indicated yesterday, the government will always recognize the rights of the workers. However, when disputes arise, we must be ever mindful that the labor process works best when it is rooted in a collaborative effort.
But BIU President Chris Ferbert took things a great deal further when asked if the dispute was indicative of a growing discontent.
I certainly hope that, what has happened over the last 2 days, which should be an eye-opener for the country, that people are getting tired, they've had enough. And when you see this kind of support galvanized in the matter of a day and a bit, naturally it should be of concern to the government, it should be of concern to the country. And you simply can't keep telling people that the economy is this, and this is that, and we're trying to get hotel business, but you can't do that at the expense of taking advantage of people. You simply can't do that. You also see standing behind the Bermuda Trade Union Congress leadership is standing over my right shoulder. They were here with us this morning. The fire service is also, I think, a few other members are here with us this morning. And people are watching this situation, and they were watching it very carefully. I heard Brother Airpole's comments last night on the news. And if this is not going to be an eye-opener for the country, I don't know what it's going to take. But certainly, employers out there, if you're going to have the executive director of the Bermuda Chamber of Commerce making those kind of statements, it tells you exactly where industrial relations are. This whole thing about legislation, and as I said, you can't legislate people's behavior. We were peacefully demonstrating yesterday that's people's right to march. That's my constitutional right to do what I want to do freely. And if you start taking those rights away from people, if you think yesterday was bad, it can get a whole lot worse.
One extraordinary part of his speech concerned an incident which happened during yesterday's march along Front Street, which he said could have caused a mini riot.
When you have the executive director of the Bermuda Chamber of Commerce, which is Mrs. Gillian McPhee, she asked our members to go back to work. And had I not turned around, because I was at the front of the line and I saw something going on, I walked back. We could have had a mini riot yesterday. And I'm not trying to dramatize anything. But here you have a person in authority inciting workers and they end up accused, I guess because, and I don't want to get to no race issue. Don't want to. But guess what? For Ms. McPhee to make that kind of statement, we could have taken it that way. We were having a peaceful march. It was well organized. We were listening to what the police was telling us and whatever, and there was no need for her to do what she did yesterday. And she urged this country and our members an apology.
Joan McPhee spoke to me this afternoon about hearing Mr. Ferbert's comments about her outburst.
I'd actually like to publicly apologize again to the Bermuda Industrial Union and its membership for my very inappropriate outburst during a paid vacation stint when I was with my family, and I spoke quite inappropriately, and I am very sorry for that, and I wish to extend my apologies to the union. It was not intended to be as offensive as it came across. I simply was caught up in the emotion of the issue. Having been unemployed myself for almost a year, it's very close to my heart, and I feel strongly that to have a job of any type in this economy is a privilege and an honor, and that was really the message I was trying to get across. I just did it in a very inappropriate way.
Have you had any reaction from your employers?
Yes. I actually, as soon as I did it, I realized that I had done something very foolish, and I immediately contacted the president of the chamber and extended my apologies, and of course, knowing social media, knew that it would become public at some point. I have not heard officially yet from the management team of the chamber, but I believe that they will understand that I spoke out of emotion, and I spoke personally, and not certainly on record as representing any member or any part of the Chamber of Commerce.
Breaking news. Chamber of Commerce President Ronnie Vera has revealed that he has suspended Mrs. McPhee without pay until an inquiry into her comments is conducted by the Executive Board. He added that the organization in no way condones the outburst and values its reputation as a bipartisan body. Among those commenting on the settlement of the industrial dispute was Bill Hanbury, CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. He warned of the negative impact that the overseas publicity would have, and said that he had already had emails from potential investors expressing concern. Vsb News' Brian Darby has Mr. Hanbury's statement.
Any time that we have disruption to our services, and more importantly, any time that such disruption attracts the attention of the media, it is bad news for tourism. Stability is the watchword of tourism, and tourists do not want to visit any destination where there is instability. Investors do not want to put their money into projects that are in a destination that shows any instability. In the last few days, Bermuda's labour unrest has been seen in the world's media. We have already had emails from potential investors expressing their concern. Thousands of potential visitors have been considering where to go on holiday over the next few months, have been viewing competitive destinations to make their choice. Certainly, a destination with a major disruption is not a place that prospective tourists will choose for their holidays. I want to reiterate that I do not wish to take sides in the recent dispute. I must, however, urge all those concerned to continuously think of the big picture, to understand the real and significant impact that negative headlines can have internationally, and our island needs all the help it can get. For months, the BTA chairman has been saying all of Bermuda needs to be part of the tourism team. These negative headlines around the world are not a testament of unified tourism team. We need unification and cooperation if we're going to have the beginning of a much-needed recovery of Bermuda's tourism economy. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Still ahead on the TV11 News, Kristen Martinez with the weather preview.
Thanks, Peter. Let's have a look at our radar. It's mostly clear in the area, but there's some showers, so please stay tuned for the full weather forecast ahead.
The weather radar picture provided courtesy of the Ministry of Transport on Vsb Tv 11.
Purdue Fresh Whole Chicken's only $2.19 per pound, saving you $1.10. Save $1 on imported vine on tomatoes, just $3.99 per pound. Only $3.59 for a 64-ounce plastic bottle of Musselman's apple juice. Kellogg's Variety Pack cereal, just $6.99 for a package of 10. All varieties of Le Yogurt only 99 cents for a 6-ounce tub, saving you 41 cents. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us. Copyfax is Bermuda's authorized Samsung dealer. See a large range of Samsung color and black and white multifunctional machines, printers, scanners, faxes, and copiers, and all networkable. Copyfax has Samsung machines suitable for home, office, or any size business in an A4 format, taking up less room than other similar equipment. And replacement supplies are in stock for all of their Samsung products. Affordable shopping at Copyfax Limited, where service comes first.
Tee up for golf. Join Port Royal Golf Club before February 28th and get 1 month free. Membership includes access to partner courses, discounts in the golf shop, PGA Grand Slam passes, use of Cambridge Beach's facilities, and more. With 25 member tournaments and the new Bella Vista Bar and Grill, we've also upped our social game. Join Port Royal and enjoy a private club experience at Bermuda's premier public course. Visit portroyalgolf.bm.
As part of the Black History Month observance, Vsb Tv 11 are showing relevant films on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. As a result, NBC network programming, usually shown at these times, will be interrupted.
There appears to have been an island-wide crackdown on illegally bred pit bulls since the incident on Texas Road St. David's last month, in which the pit bull owned by Commissioner of Corrections Edward Lamb killed a neighbor's pet dog and had to be put down. Yesterday, the wardens returned to Texas Road as part of the exercise and seized 3 pit bull puppies believed to be owned by the McCallum family living in the area. Friends of the family contacting VSB News last night wanted to know if officials had the right to seize dogs that had not been involved in an incident, and if the puppies had been put down without their having the chance to discuss the matter with the wardens. Sources tell VSB News that a wide-scale hunt for illegal dogs, many of whom have been reported by concerned neighbors, had been ordered by the Ministry of Health and the Environment. The Progressive Labour Party had 2 reactions to today's events surrounding the industrial dispute that paralyzed the island's transport. One from leader Mark Bean, and the other from Shadow Finance Minister David Burt. Mr. Bean welcomed the news that the 2 sides had reached a resolution and hoped that lessons had been learned so that in future there would be a more balanced and respectful approach to the process so that industrial action was unnecessary. He added that unions had a vital role to play and that current economic conditions should not be used as an excuse. Mr. Bean notes that the social media was being used by a vocal minority to negative effect over the recent events, calling from everything from breaking the union to economic retribution against union workers, and he called this intolerable. Mr. Burt used his statement to demand the resignation of Chamber of Commerce Executive Officer Joanne McPhee. He said that as a former director of the Chamber, he was appalled that the executive director of an organization that claimed to be politically neutral would seek to incite Bermudians engaged in a peaceful march. Now, here are the daily markets, presented by us.
And here are the daily markets presented by Bias. U.S. stocks rallied amid better than expected earnings and jobless claims. The S&P's rally trimmed its decline this year to 4.1%. The European markets also had a good day, with both FTSE and the DAX posting gains. In North America, U.S. stocks rose with the Dow and the S&P recorded their biggest gains for the year as claims for unemployment benefits fell and earnings surpassed expectations. The S&P 500 closed at 1,773, an increase of 1.24%, and the Dow added 186 points to close at 15,629. In Bermuda-related stocks, 102,400 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded on the Bermuda Stock Exchange today at the price of $1.73 per share, a decrease of 1.73%. And ACE closed at $93.49, an increase of 0.26%. In Europe, the European stocks advanced for a second day as the European Central Bank held interest rates at a record low. The DAX gained 1.54% and the FTSE advanced 1.55%. In the Pacific Ring, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index advanced, rebounding from its lowest level in 6 months as casino operators and energy producers rallied. The Hang Seng added 0.72% to close at 21,423. In Latin America, the Ibovespa saw the biggest gain since September as industrial metals, oil, and other commodities gained. The Ibovespa closed at 47,738, an increase of 2.39%. And in bonds, the yields on German 10-year bonds rose 6 basis points to 1.69%. The rate on U.S. 10-year treasuries was up 3 basis points, while the rate on 10 UK gilts increased 6 basis points to 2.74%. And in currencies, the euro strengthened the most in 2 weeks against the dollar. The euro advanced 0.41%, the biggest gain since January the 23rd. The Australian dollar climbed to a 3-week high after the nation reported an unexpected trade surplus. That was a look at the daily markets presented by Bias. There's more news after the break.
Yeah? You John Henry?
Yes?
Yeah, it's the right place. Bring it up.
What? I didn't order the coffin.
It's the right place. It's from a Mr. Grimes Rapper. Oh, sorry, I misread. It's Mr. Grim Reaper.
Huh?
It says you don't watch your blood pressure, you don't manage your diabetes, and you eat unhealthy. This is definitely for you.
Can you believe it's the new year already? Well, you can start out the new year right with beautiful new furniture. Treat yourself to the living room you've always wanted, or the perfect bedroom set. Our selection of dining sets is amazing. And if you're looking for a new desk or TV stand, look no further. So, whether you need a single piece or a whole house full of furniture, our huge selection is perfect for every room in your home. These prices won't last long, so call or stop in today.
Did you make a resolution to save in 2014? One thing you can kiss goodbye is your internet bill. That's right, kiss your internet bill goodbye and say hello to free home internet for 1 year when you sign up for Digicel postpaid mobile service. You'll get free 6 meg home internet service, a $600 value, or $50 per month towards a faster internet plan for 12 months. Offer ends March 1st, so hurry in. Terms apply. See DigicelBermuda.com for details. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
A group of former commanding officers of the Bermuda Regiment is fighting to keep conscription on the books as a fail-safe measure. Calling themselves the 9 Colonels, they are using their 60 years of military experience to make the point that volunteers cannot successfully man the regiment at the level it needs to be to fulfill the roles it has. The group met last night, and former commanding officer Alan Rance says they are all on the same page.
There were a number of very good ideas for how we should move forward. There are others who have expressed a great interest not only in supporting us, but in actually taking action steps to assist in furthering the education of the Bermudian public as to the importance of maintaining the strength of the regiment so that it can continue to carry out its roles going forward. We fully support the government's efforts to increase the number of volunteers, and if they can get to 120, that would be wonderful. But the trick is to keep it at 120 year in, year out, And to do that, it would be subject to, obviously I think a substantial financial inducement. And you still have to ask yourself, what is the likelihood that you're going to achieve 120 and then sustain 120 solely on volunteers? Conscription is an international process for sharing equally the sacrifice for military service to your country. And that's very important. It's military service to your country. It's not to any single individual, and that's what we're interested in here, and that's our point. It's in the interest of the country to keep the regiment strong. Bermuda becomes less safe if the regiment becomes too small and ineffective.
Colonel Rance says the regiment of the future will have to implement policies to increase volunteers, which require financial inducements. The sports report is up next, after the break.
Tee up for golf. Join Port Royal Golf Club before February 28th and get 1 month free. Membership includes access to partner courses, discounts in the golf shop, PGA Grand Slam passes, use of Cambridge Beach's facilities, and more. With 25 member tournaments and the new Bella Vista Bar and Grill, we've also upped our social game. Join Port Royal and enjoy a private club experience at Bermuda's premier public course. Visit portroyalgolf.bm.
Save $3 on imported romaine hearts, just $3.99 per package. Roast a fresh certified Angus beef bottom round roast, $6.29 per pound. For Meal in Minutes Grace corned beef, only $3.59 for a 12-ounce tin. All varieties of Chef Boyardee meals, just $1.79 for a 7.5-ounce tub. Clean up with Bounty Select-A-Size paper towel, only $3.19 for one roll. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
For the 5th year, the Argus Group and the Center on Philanthropy are teaming up for a 5K walk for charity. The annual event is a unique fundraiser in that participants choose the charity or non-profit that they want to help from their entry fee. The Argus Walk the Walk event takes place on Sunday, February 23rd, with a warm-up session at 8:15 a.m. and the start at 8:30 a.m. It is a fully marshaled 5K walk that begins and ends on Wesley Street in front of the Argus and the Center on Philanthropy offices on Wesley Street. Elaine Williams, Executive Director of the Center, said that last year the event saw 1,235 walkers support 118 charities. The weather report is still ahead after the break.
In celebration of Black History Month, the Defunce Broadcasting Company Limited is proud to present films acknowledging the contributions made by black people throughout the world. See these historic films at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays during Black History Month. On Vsb Tv 11, sponsored by Belco, Lindo's, Gibbons Company, Bermuda Bistro, Caesar's Pharmacy and Sports R Us.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching the VSB weather forecast brought to you by the Bermuda Weather Service. Let's have a look at our shot of the day. Taken by VJ Talbot at 5 p.m. at All Boys Point. Some clouds rolling in, but you still see the sun breaking through. Gorgeous picture. Thank you, VJ, for sending that in to us. We had a high today at 75 at 12 and a low of 70 at 7 a.m. Currently it's 72, humidity's at 80%, winds west-southwest, 20 knots, and barometric pressure is unsteady at 30.07 inches. So far for our rainfall this month, we haven't had any. Total of 6.23 for the year, and the norm is usually at about 6.37 inches. A cold front approaching to our north will stall near Bermuda tonight, producing periods of rain or showers through Friday. The front will slowly move to our south later Friday. Developing low pressure to our west on Saturday will deepen and move northeast, drawing the front back to our north later Saturday with rain, showers, and chance of thunder. Let's have a look at our gateway cities. Atlanta is partly cloudy at 53 degrees. Boston's partly cloudy at 26. Charlotte's mostly cloudy at 51. London's partly cloudy at 51. Miami's mostly sunny at 84. New York is partly cloudy at 31. Very cold in New York. Orlando cloudy at 72. Philadelphia partly cloudy at 34. Toronto absolutely freezing at 14 degrees, but it is partly cloudy. Washington and it's mostly cloudy at 40 degrees. Tonight there might be a couple of showers in there, so if you plan on heading out, do bring your umbrella. The temperature is expected to be about 69 degrees. Wind southwest 18 to 22 knots, decreasing 12 to 18 knots. Tomorrow we expect it to be about 73. We might have some light showers in the area. Winds southwest 10 to 15 knots, west 10 to 15 knots by the afternoon, and gradually veering northeast 5 to 10 knots. And for our mariners, there is a small craft warning, so if you're going out, be careful, with seas inside the reef being 1 to 2 feet, outside 4 to 7 feet, and a sea surface temperature of 70 degrees. For mariners tomorrow, we still have that small craft warning, with seas inside the reef being 0 to 2 feet, outside 5 to 8 feet. Low tide's at 8:58 a.m. and high tide is at 2:18 p.m. Let's have a look at our 5-day forecast. Saturday's a mix of sun and clouds with patchy light rain with a high near 71 degrees. Sunday's mostly cloudy with showers. Risk of thunder in the afternoon with a high near 72. Monday's partly cloudy with a few early morning showers at 70. And Tuesday we expect sunny breaks in there, so get excited at 68 degrees. I'd like to thank our meteorologist over at the Weather Service, Ken Smith. I'm Kristen Martinez, and have a great evening.
Thanks for tuning in to the TV 11 News. Good night.
Peter Cattell's attire, courtesy of A.S. Cooper & Sons Limited. Wardrobe and makeup for Kristen Martinez, provided by Gibbons Company.
VSB TV 11, Bermuda.